Delivering food, I caught my wife cheating with her boss. While pregnant, she kicked me out, and even used the child to force me to wait on her boss like a dog, washing his feet and rubbing his back. After our divorce, I teamed up with her boss' ex-wife to set a trap. Ultimately, her boss went bankrupt, reduced to scavenging for scraps and without an heir. As for her, burdened by debt, she was constantly being harassed by creditors, hiding in a rental unit, apartment, afraid to show her face or even turn on the lights, dodging anyone she saw. I suspect my boyfriend is cheating. When you deliver the food, help me take a picture of the people inside. If you don't, I'll leave a bad review. I'm a delivery driver, and this wasn't the first time I'd gotten an order like this. Helping people catching infidelity, catching them cheating was pretty exciting. Sometimes, when the people inside saw my phone by the door, they'd scramble to escape or start yelling at me, clearly guilty as hell. You could tell right away something shady was going on. On the other hand, the ones who opened the door wide and just asked me to delete the picture were usually innocent. There was risk involved too. I'd run into hotheads before who wanted to punch me right away. In those cases, I'd just make a quick getaway, then tell his wife there was another woman in the room. What happened after that wasn't my problem. After accepting the order, the first thing I did was add the woman on Weshit. Delivering food is one thing, but acting as a lookout for catching infidelity, catching them cheating is another. That's two separate jobs, requiring two separate payments. Leaving a message for me in the app wouldn't count. The woman reluctantly sent me an extra payment via messaging app and a voice message saying, "These delivery drivers nowadays, all they care about is money. I just asked you to snap a picture while you were there. Why make such a big deal?" I ignored her criticism, took the extra payment via messaging app, and casually replied, "All right, beautiful, I'm on my way." Let her say whatever she wanted. Nothing was more important than making money. Soon, the food was ready. I rushed to the address as fast as I could, activated my phone's camera first, then rang the doorbell. Delivery. After pressing it a few times, a woman's voice came from inside, "Robert, the delivery is here." A woman. There really was a woman in there. I instantly felt a rush of excitement, morbidly curious as I waited for the door to open. The man who opened the door was thin, looked kind of weak. Guess he was having a good time. The guy looked at me suspiciously. I didn't order any food. I held the phone against my chest and replied, "Maybe your girlfriend ordered it. The address is definitely right. I didn't order anything either." A clear female voice spoke up, and it sent a chill down my spine. Why did that voice sound exactly like my wife's? Shocked, I looked up just as a tall, attractive woman walked out of the room, wearing only a tank top and shorts. Her chest was practically spilling out, and her pale thighs were just there, dangling. And that woman was my wife, Ashley. Just now. Did she call that man Robert? Ashley noticed me staring and quickly covered her chest. "What are you looking at, you pervert?" Just as I was about to speak, the man pushed me and slammed the door shut. Outside the door, I was trembling with rage. Why was Ashley here? She told me she was going out for a beauty treatment, didn't she? Calm down, calm down. What if I was mistaken? Besides, the woman's reaction clearly showed she didn't recognize me. I took a deep breath and sent my wife a message, "Ashley, are you done with your beauty treatment? I can come pick you up." The reply was almost instant, "Finished. I'm shopping with friends. I'll be back late tonight." As far as I knew, her closest friends were all working out of state. With the pandemic so bad, why would they suddenly come here to see her? I sent another message, "Which friend? Do I know them? Let me video call you, I just want to see where you are." The moment I sent that message, I immediately called her, giving her no time to breathe. But after just a few rings, the call was hung up. Ashley sent a furious emoji, "Stickers, what are you doing? I told you I'm with friends. Calling me right now is so rude." I didn't understand what was so rude about her legal husband calling her. But conveniently, the cheating couple's door wasn't soundproof. I just leaned in close and could hear the video call ringtone inside. That was the video call ringtone Ashley had personally chosen. She told me back then that this ringtone was just for me, so she'd know it was me whenever it rang. Now I realize it was probably just to make it easier to avoid me. She was having a blazing affair, and my call gave her a heads up. How ironic. I stared at the door for a long time, memorizing the apartment number before leaving. There was no doubt left now. Ashley was definitely cheating on me, and with such a useless guy. She didn't recognize me at first, probably because I was wearing my delivery helmet and couldn't see my face clearly. My phone buzzed. It was the cheating couple's girlfriend. "Did you deliver the food? Is anyone home?" Only then did I notice that, in my shock, I hadn't stopped recording the video. I cut off the latter half of the video, trimming it to where the guy pushed me out of the apartment. That made the video very short, but it was enough to get a clear shot of Ashley. After I sent the video, the woman immediately blew up, sending me a barrage of messages. I knew that guy was no good. Knock on the door again. Slap both of them for me. I'll pay extra. I'll pay extra. I sat in the stairwell and took a long drag from a cigarette. Slap them twice. What good would that do? Would that really satisfy me? I couldn't swallow this. 3 years ago, I married her. There was the enormous cost of the wedding, all given to her brother. All the money I earned over the years, I gave it to her family. I resented it, but I was always sincere with her. I never thought this would be the result. My phone kept buzzing. The woman kept sending messages, venting her frustration. I put out the cigarette and replied, a few slaps. Is that all you want? I have a better way to get revenge. Want to hear it? There was a noticeable pause before she replied after a long while. Who are you? The husband of the woman in the video. She didn't send any more messages, but I wasn't worried. She'd definitely seen it. I put my phone away and rode my scooter straight home. I was done delivering food. Someone else could do this job. Once I got home, I sent the neighborhood address to a friend who happened to work in that area. They quickly found the information. The owner's name was Robert. That name sounded familiar. Wasn't he Ashley's boss? The small company she worked for was barely more than a small business. How could that little boss afford to buy an apartment just to keep a mistress? No wonder the door wasn't soundproof. That night, I did everything I could to dug up everything I could about this little boss. I signed up for multiple background check services, subscribed to several information databases just for this. This boss was definitely richer than me, much richer. Ashley was probably with him for the money. And my money. I'd used up all my savings to marry her. In the end, I had nothing left, and my wife ran off with someone else. If I told anyone this, it was so pathetic it would make anyone pity me. In my head, I cursed that cheating couple, scum couple 1,000 times, determined to get all the money I'd worked so hard for back before I divorced her. Ashley didn't get home until midnight. Midnight. That woman stayed at his place until midnight before she come home. Before I could even open my mouth to question her, Ashley started yelling at me. What are you doing back so early? Don't you know you make more money at this hour? How dare you come back so early? My temper flared instantly. I used to work until 2 or 3 in the morning just for the higher late night commission to earn a little extra. You're out cheating, and I'm still busting my ass like an idiot. That's insane. But I didn't let on. I said casually, why are you back so late? Which friend were you with? It's not safe out so late. Ashley's expression didn't betray anything. We were just talking and lost track of time, but I took a taxi downstairs, so it was safe. Oh, I replied flatly. You took a taxi back. Your friend didn't see you home. Ashley didn't reply, seemingly unwilling to talk to me. I added, slowly, I recall the only person you're really close with here is your boss, isn't it? That hit a nerve. Ashley exploded. What are you implying? Are you saying I'm cheating? That I'm sleeping with my boss? You useless loser, what right do you have to suspect me? I earn more money than you do, so she was getting defensive. Listening to her rant, I clenched my fists. Her pathetic job used to only pay 2,000 or 3,000, but a few months ago, it suddenly jumped to 8,000, way more than my income. Now I realize it was all Robert. So they hooked up back then? I took a deep breath and feigned innocence. Why are you suddenly so angry? I was just asking about your relationship. I didn't say I suspected anything. Ashley glared at me. Did I ask you to ask? Listen, I want you to earn me $1,000 in the next few days. $1,000. I was shocked. I only make a few dollars per delivery. You're just demanding 1,000. Do you think money grows on trees? Ashley looked me up and down, her contempt obvious. How can you not even come up with $1,000? My brother needs a new phone. I'm putting in 3,000. You can't even contribute 1,000. The way she spoke, like spending money on her brother was the most normal thing in the world, her tone full of disdain, it made me sick. I stood up and stepped closer to Ashley. The money you earn is marital property. No matter how much you give him, half of it is mine. Did you ask my permission? Does your brother not have hands or feet? Why is he always demanding money from you? David. Ashley yelled, shoving my chest hard with both hands. So you're drawing such clear lines between us now? Heh. My brother is my family, what's wrong with me spending some money on him? Ashley stormed out, not forgetting to add before she left, if we can make it work, fine. If not, let's get a divorce. Divorce. I was definitely getting a divorce, but not yet. Ashley's brother was like a leech, always coming up with excuses to ask for money every month. The money Ashley had taken was enough to buy someone a new car, while I was stuck riding my scooter, working myself to death for just a few bucks. A short while later, a text message came through. Ashley had charged $4,000. Ashley. You seriously have some nerve. I quickly changed the bank password online. If I didn't get that money back, my name wasn't David. My phone suddenly lit up. It was a message from the other woman. I'm back from my business trip soon, let's meet. The next day at noon, I met the woman. She wore a sharp suit, carried a briefcase, and looked travel-worn, clearly just back from a business trip. She spotted me right away. After all, a delivery driver in a yellow delivery vest sitting in a coffee shop drinking iced water instead of delivering food in the middle of the day is pretty noticeable. Before she even sat down, the woman got straight to the point. Was that really your wife? I didn't answer immediately, just extended my hand. David. The woman glanced at my hand, but didn't shake it. She simply introduced herself. My name is Jessica, and the person I asked you to film that day was my husband, Robert. His mistress is Ashley. Maybe it was because I hadn't introduced myself as her husband, but Jessica's expression softened considerably. She sat down across from me. Robert is a small company, small business owner. He's saved up a good amount of money, but I truly didn't expect him to buy an apartment behind my back just to keep a mistress. Jessica spoke with righteous indignation, her pretty face flushed with anger. I studied her. She had a delicate, doll-like face. She was different from Ashley. Ashley had a kind of seductive femininity. Jessica, on the other hand, was fresh and made it hard to look away. What are you looking at? Jessica asked, watching me warily. I quickly snapped back to attention and cleared my throat. I need to be clear. Your goal in getting revenge on Robert, is it to make him dump Ashley and come back to you, or is it to divorce him? Divorce, of course. A man who has cheated is always tainted. Why would I want him? I want you to work with me to make them both pay. I came here with a serious offer. I raised an eyebrow, signaling her to continue. Jessica took a sip of water and said, Robert is infertile. Whoa, that was bombshell news. But that would explain why that jerk could have affairs with no consequences. But he doesn't know this. We've been married 3 years, and he kept pushing me to have a child, but it never happened. He always thought it was my fault. Plus, he'd made some dirty money, and would call me barren every day. Later, I secretly added a specific test to his physical exam, and it turned out he was infertile. I fell into thought. In that case, once he believes he's the father, when he's not, you can get a smooth divorce. Jessica stared at me intently. So, I need you to get Ashley pregnant. I refuse. I said without thinking, flatly denying it. Thinking about Ashley calling Robert, Robert, in that sickeningly sweet voice made me feel nauseous. I didn't even want to look at her. How could I possibly agree to that? Jessica was stunned for a moment, clearly not expecting my refusal. She bit her lip, looking a bit embarrassed. Robert does have money and some connections. This is the best revenge I could think of. Seeing her helpless expression, my heart softened. I quickly leaned forward to reassure her. We'll get revenge, but that's not the only way. The information you brought today can definitely be a big help. Jessica and I sat in the coffee shop for a long time. After we'd made our plans, we both went home. Ashley wasn't home when I got back. I asked Jessica, and Robert was nowhere to be found either. It was clear what they were doing. I sent Ashley a message, telling her to come home early or I'd pick her up from her workplace, office. Maybe she was afraid I'd find something out, because she came back quickly. The moment she walked in, she started yelling. Why are you back so early again? You barely make any money. Are you expecting me to support you, worthless, a loser? The veins were popping out on my arms. She didn't mention taking $4,000 to buy her brother a phone, did she? Now she was complaining I couldn't support her. No matter how much I earned, it wouldn't be enough for her to waste. I forced myself to suppress my anger, carrying the cooked meal, dishes to the table. Don't be mad, Ashley. I noticed you've been having a bigger appetite lately, so I made your favorite dishes. Come eat. Ashley sat down reluctantly, her eyes still full of contempt. I pretended not to notice, even putting a few pieces of the cooked meal, dishes on her plate. Ashley ate a few bites, and her stomach churned. She rushed to the bathroom to throw up. I followed behind, my face beaming with excitement. Ashley, with a reaction like that, you're not pregnant, are you? That's wonderful. We're finally going to have a baby, really? A flicker of excitement crossed Ashley's eyes. I knew it wasn't for me, but a bargaining chip to secure her wealthy man. Go ahead and be happy. Ashley was excited for a moment, then immediately her expression turned serious again. That's impossible. I don't think so. Maybe my stomach has just been acting up lately. After she finished, she wiped her mouth and sat back down at the table, forcing down several large bites. This time, she fought back the urge to gag and swallowed all the food. I found it amusing. All right, eat up. I'm heading off to work. With that, I turned and left. After all, every dish on the table had been tampered with. I didn't want to try it myself. I knew without a doubt that the moment I left, Ashley would call her dear lover, Robert. Whether it was true or not, this was her chance to latch onto a wealthy man, so I wasn't worried even if she went to the hospital for a checkup. Even if it turned out she wasn't pregnant, she'd choose to hide it. All I had to do was plant the idea, and let her hook herself. As long as she was greedy enough, she'd fall right into the trap. Sure enough, after just a few days, Jessica contacted me. She said Robert had asked her for a divorce, citing irreconcilable differences. I scoffed. Anyone with half a brain could figure out why. But I hadn't expected Ashley to act so fast. In just a few days, she'd completely conned Robert, making him willing to split half his assets with Jessica just to get a divorce. Jessica didn't hold back. She immediately hired a lawyer to settle the assets, and they even dug up the apartment Robert used for his trysts. Of course, Robert just explained it was an investment property he'd bought earlier. He certainly wouldn't admit to cheating or getting Ashley pregnant. Jessica didn't say much, pretending she knew nothing. It only took a few days to sign the divorce settlement agreement and finalize the divorce. In the blink of an eye, Jessica transformed into a wealthy woman, rich woman. Even I was envious. The assets and properties she got were enough for me to live comfortably for the rest of my life. But Jessica wasn't completely satisfied with the outcome. David, I wanted that cheating couple, scum couple to suffer. Why did I get such a quick divorce? I still have this anger bottled up inside. That animal is probably gloating right now, laughing that I didn't even know he was cheating. I curse silently. Revenge is one thing, but walking away with this much money. What was there to be unhappy about? If it were me, I'd immediately take the money and go live it up. Why bother with revenge? But I certainly couldn't say that in front of Jessica. I carefully explained, now that you're divorced, the assets have been divided. If the company loses money later, it won't affect your share. Jessica understood immediately, her spirits lifting. Then we should make a big splash. It would be best if he lost everything. That's exactly what I wanted. It would be best if he could never recover. As we were talking, Jessica's phone rang. It was an unsaved number, but it was one I knew all too well. Wasn't it my wife, who was trying to latch onto a wealthy man? I immediately fell silent, listening to their conversation. Ashley's voice was cheerful and arrogant. Her goal was to meet Jessica. A meeting. Oh, I definitely had to see what that empty-headed woman was going to pull. The day they met, I was at the next table, eavesdropping. It was truly a show. Ashley kept her hand on her lower back and her abdomen the whole time, as if she was afraid no one would notice she was pregnant. She sat down carefully and said provocatively, as you can see, I'm pregnant. It's Robert's. Don't let Jessica's usual flighty demeanor fool you, she was very calm when it counted. I've already divorced him. If you want to scavenge for scraps, that's your business. There's no need to specially tell me, some people can't have children yet act so self-righteous. I don't know where they get the confidence. Saying they got divorced when they were clearly kicked out. From my angle, I saw Jessica roll her eyes dramatically. If that's all you came to tell me, please leave. Frankly, it's making me a little nauseous. Ashley's voice rose a few notches. Don't pretend you don't care. Let me tell you, Robert and I have been together for ages. We're the real soulmates. You were just an obstacle in the way. Together for ages, you say. Since when? Ashley said brazenly, since the end of last year. It's been 6 months now, and the baby in my belly is already 1 month along. See. This is Robert's bank card. He told me I could use the card, pay with the card, whenever I want. Jessica elegantly took a sip of her tea. Half of his assets belong to me now. How much money could you possibly get? I hadn't expected Jessica to be so infuriating. It was a shame my seat didn't give me a view of Ashley's face. I would have loved to see how twisted she looked from being so angry. As far as I know, you're still married. That means you and Robert will never be legal. You met through an affair. Do you think he won't dump you for another affair? Ashley started to panic a little. You don't need to provoke me with that. Just wait, I'll go back and get a divorce. Robert will definitely marry me then. Well, tell him to work hard and make more money. After all, half of his assets are already mine. You'll only get a quarter. Jessica's words really hit home. After a few rounds, Ashley not only failed to provoke her, but ended up storming off in a rage. It was truly hilarious. As soon as Ashley walked out, I turned off the voice recording device and burst out laughing. Ashley actually thought she'd fooled everyone and was in control. In reality, she was just a clown putting on a show right under our noses. Thanks to Ashley's stupidity, we had concrete proof of Robert cheating and getting someone pregnant. As for whether he'd find out later that he was infertile and tell everyone about it, well, that was another matter. I gave the voice recording device to Jessica. It was too risky, keeping it on me. Ashley might find it. It would be safer with her. Good work, you did great. I'll take it from here. David, Jessica said with some concern. Ashley was talking pretty big. She might try to cause trouble for you. Do you want me to use some of that money to help you? I chuckled lightly and teased. Why does that sound like I'm being taken care of by a rich woman? Jessica's face instantly turned red. That's not what I meant. You helped me so much. I just want to help you in return. I smiled slightly. I'd never asked Jessica her age, but that thought sounded like a child's. That money is what you deserve. As for my money, I'll get it back myself. After saying goodbye to Jessica, I went straight home. Thinking about how far things had gone, I wasn't in the mood to work. Ashley came back early today, probably eager to divorce me. She didn't even have time to see her wealthy man. The moment she saw me walk in, she started picking a fight. Are you just planning to waste your life away? Not going to make money anymore? I guess you just don't want to be with me anymore, do you? I'd heard those words countless times and was utterly sick of them. But for the sake of the plan, I composed myself and said with a smile, Ashley, I won't have to delivering food anymore. That job is exhausting and doesn't pay well. My high school buddy is starting a business, he's already found the suppliers, and he's waiting for me to join as a partner. Sarah was about to curse, but when she heard about being a shareholder, her interest was piqued. Making money with investments, why would I tell you if it wasn't making money? My buddy, the projects he did before, they raked in tens of millions. While I can't make that much, following him, I can still make a few million. By then, we'll be rich. You won't have to put up with that crap at that little company anymore. That company. I could just buy it out. I emphasized the last part specifically to make sure she understood that in the future, I'd have more money than Robert, especially since Robert had just had half his assets taken by Jessica. She'd have to figure out which side offered the bigger advantage. Sarah wasn't as excited, instead, she fell into thought. After a long pause, she asked, is this business a guaranteed moneymaker? Absolutely guaranteed. I pulled out my phone and showed her the transfer record I'd prepared. It was $50,000 I'd had Jessica transfer to me, and then I transferred it back to that account. I've been watching this all week, making sure it was profitable before I dared to tell you. Last week I gave him $5,000, and in just 1 week, I saw returns. With a business like this, why would I still be a delivery driver? Sarah snatched the phone, stared at the transfer record for several moments, then looked up, asking excitedly, the $50,000 you made back is already reinvested? Absolutely. I lowered my voice, speaking conspiratoriously. To be honest, this is quick money. The returns are this high now, but they might not be later. Then quick, put all the money in. Sarah shouted. I shook my head and sighed. I'm out of money. All my savings are in it. Honey, the money I made before, I gave it all to Sir's brother. See if you can get him to pay me back first. After I ride this peak returns period, he can have whatever he wants. Sarah didn't reply. She knew there was no way to get the money from her brother back. He'd blown through everything he'd taken over the years. I didn't expect that money back anyway. My target was the money Robert had given Sarah. Fine, you wait here. I'll go ask him. Sarah agreed through gritted teeth. Sarah moved quickly. The next day, she came back with a bank card, containing a full $500,000. That was a substantial amount, but I'd expected it. Robert had half his assets taken, so Sarah, being the one who came after, was bound to feel resentful. Her way of evening the score would be to divorce me, and take half of my assets. At a crucial moment like this, who wouldn't get carried away when I said we could get rich? Jessica said Robert wasn't a generous person. Even if Sarah were pregnant, he wouldn't possibly give her such a large sum. So, either Sarah got it herself, or she really oversold it to Robert and insisted on getting the money. I didn't care how the money came about. I only cared how much ended up in my hands. I grinned and told Sarah, honey, with this money, we're going to make a fortune. Look, that day I put in $50,000, and in just a few days, it turned into $150,000. Of course, that transfer record was fake, but Sarah didn't notice. After making money twice in a row, anyone would be convinced. Sarah grit her teeth. My brother isn't married yet, so let's mortgage the house meant for his future marriage first. Once we make the money back in a few days, we'll stop. I was ecstatic inside. I nodded emphatically. Investing is risky, after all. We'll just do this one time. We'll stop while we're ahead. Seeing how cautious I was, Sarah trusted me even more. She went back and mortgaged her brother's house. That idiot, he even used his own ID to do it. Perfect. After receiving the money, I immediately transferred it to Jessica and didn't do anything else. It wasn't until a few days later that Sarah found me. David, how's that investment of yours doing? Can we cash out some of it? I mortgaged for a short-term loan, and the repayment date is coming up. I immediately sat up from the sofa, looking utterly distraught. Honey, we can't cash out now. The market is volatile. Everything we bought with our money is stuck. My buddy is already trying to fix it. Maybe we can get the principal back in 2 or 3 years. 2 or 3 years. Sarah cried out. She couldn't wait 2 or 3 years, not for the loan, and not for the fake baby in her belly. Sarah was stunned. She grabbed my collar and shook me. You're a liar. Give me back my money. Give me back my money. I grabbed her hands and freed my collar. What's with your money, my money? Isn't this all our marital property? Don't worry, our money will definitely come back. Your salary is high now, and I'll work hard to make money too. We can definitely fill this hole. Sarah shoved me away. Marital property, my ass. My money is my money. You blew over 800,000. Why should I help you pay it back? And you have the nerve to say I make good money. You just plan on being a kept man from now on, huh? I feigned innocence. Didn't I get your agreement when I took the money? Investing has risks. Who could have known this peak returns period would end so quickly? Sarah cursed loudly. I agreed to you making money. Not losing it. Let me tell you, this mama is not going to lower her standard of living because of your screw up. Watching Sarah get more and more agitated, I suddenly wanted to see how crazy this woman could get, so I added fuel to the fire. Don't worry, once this storm passes, I'll definitely bring your standard of living back up. But right now, the most important thing is to sell the house. To make a little more, I borrowed money from some loan sharks before, 300,000. If we sell this house, what's left after paying them back will be enough for us to rent a decent place. Rent. David, have you no shame? I want a divorce. I think you must have been gambling. I demand you leave with nothing, I chuckled. You demand I leave with nothing? Well, what about your affair? And with your boss, no less. Sarah froze for a second, then immediately raised her voice. You suspect me. I think you're the one having an affair. A delivery driver, daring to go out and hook up. You think you're good enough. Usually, when someone shouts like that, they've got something to hide. I sneered. You're the one having the affair, aren't you? With Robert. And is there a child of his here? My finger pointed at Sarah's belly, slowly tracing it, as if to slice it open. Sarah stood frozen, her face pale. You. After a few seconds, however, Sarah regained her composure and looked at me with contempt. Since you already know, then you should understand how big the gap is between you and him. You could be a delivery driver your whole life, and never reach his level. Even though I'd orchestrated all of this, hearing Sarah's words was still sickening. I grabbed a handful of her hair. Having an affair and acting so self-righteous. Where do you get the nerve? Sarah's body was yanked backward, her mouth full of curses aimed at my family. I slapped her, sending her sprawling onto the sofa. My own curses were just as nasty. Finally, I let out the frustration that had built up over the past few days. Sarah scrambled up awkwardly, her eyes unusually resolute. Fine, if that's how it is, consider it my affair. I'll leave with nothing. You deal with your own debts. They have nothing to do with me. I sat down and lit a cigarette. Are you so sure Robert will help you pay off your debts? That's none of your business. Now, get up, let's get a divorce. Of course, I didn't refuse. I got up swiftly, grabbed the documents I'd prepared, and headed out, completely ignoring the stunned Sarah behind me. There was no line at City Hall today, so we got the divorce done quickly. Sarah didn't even go back to pack her things. She just told me to throw everything away and then turned and left. I wasn't surprised. Her arrogance just showed she was certain Robert would take care of her, didn't it? Well, we'll see if that wedding actually happens. The next morning, I took Jessica and staked out City Hall. Sure enough, we spotted the two of them. Now they could be together openly. They were practically glued to each other, Sarah clinging tightly to Robert's arm, acting all demure. Ugh, these two are disgusting. Divorced yesterday, coming to get married the next day. I fanned myself with the hand fan, wiping away sweat. It was a scorching summer day. Sarah mortgaged the house for a loan because of my scheme. To pay it back, she's definitely going to use the baby to force Robert to marry her. Jessica watched the despicable pair walk towards us and let out a chuckle. I'm already looking forward to Robert's reaction. With that, Jessica stood up and walked towards them, carrying a document. I didn't move, staying hidden in a nearby corner, where I could just hear their conversation. I saw Jessica walk up to them, her tone casual. Well, look who's getting married. From my angle, I could see Sir's expression perfectly. 1 second she was acting fragile and shy, the next she put on a provocative smile. That's right, we're getting married. Our child needs a home. Robert, meanwhile, shielded Sarah behind him. Jessica, we've already separated. I hope we can move on with our lives and not bother each other. Jessica completely ignored Robert, crossed her arms, and looked at Sarah. Are you sure you're pregnant? Of course. Let me tell you, Robert divorced you because you're barren. Now I can help him start a family, so naturally he'll choose me. Sarah said, puffing out her chest and stroking her flat stomach. Robert glared at Jessica, terrified she might do something to Sarah. You've already gotten the property you were entitled to. Please don't. He didn't finish before Jessica cut him off. She slapped the document right onto Robert's chest. Precisely because I took half of your property, I need to remind you, read this document before you go in there and get married. Robert was confused, but then he saw it was his own medical report. He must have remembered that checkup. His expression turned serious. After a moment, he turned around abruptly and shoved Sarah to the ground. Sarah was startled. She stared at him in disbelief. Are you crazy? I'm pregnant. Why would you push me? Robert's eyes were red, and he accused loudly, Whose? You mean the baby? Of course it's yours. Why would I marry you if it wasn't yours? Don't listen to that woman. She's just trying to stir things up between us. At this point, Jessica had already settled down on a nearby staircase, propping her chin on her hand, openly watching the spectacle. Sarah was frantic. She kept trying to soothe Robert, coaxing him toward City Hall, but Robert wouldn't move an inch. Sarah, you stole my bank card and blew through 500,000, just like that, and I didn't even blame you. Haven't I been good enough to you? Why would you do this to me? Sir's voice rose. We already talked about this, didn't we? That card was like the money you gave me as a gift. Why are you bringing it up again? Besides, we're getting married soon. Why are we still talking about yours and mine? No more. What wedding? Get lost. No more. Sarah suddenly exploded. I'm carrying your child. You think you can just dump me? I'm telling you, no way. We are getting married today. Robert's face was still grim. He kicked Sir's calf. Get out of here. At this point, Sarah didn't care about appearances anymore. She lunged forward and grabbed Robert's hair. You don't want to get married, huh? Fine. Everyone, come look. This jerk wants to abandon me while I'm pregnant. There were quite a few people around. Many had already noticed the scene. Shut up. You have nothing to do with me. Robert yelled. What do you mean nothing to do with you? I divorced my husband for you. You have to support me, damn it. Robert swore. I'm sterile. PFFT. I really couldn't hold it in. I'd just taken a sip of water and immediately sputtered it out laughing. I never expected Robert to be so bold, yelling that he was sterile in front of everyone. Now that's a real man. As soon as he said that, Sarah froze too. She didn't speak for a long time, finally murmuring, You're sterile. I'm infertile. What I want to know is, where did the child in your belly come from? Sarah panicked. She lunged forward, trying to hug Robert, but he kicked her away. Robert, listen to me. Explain what? You seduced me, ruined my family, and cheated on me. I ought to beat you to death. Sarah was terrified. She ran away, crying and shouting, I'm not pregnant. It was all a lie. Robert, you have to believe me. We're the real true love. I'd recorded enough of their drama. I turned off my phone's recording function and went over to sit next to Jessica. Jessica had somehow gotten her hands on some snacks. She held them out to me. Popcorn, peanuts, want some? I took a bag of snacks and leisurely watched the two of them wrestling. Do you think they'll still end up together? Jessica asked. I shook my head. If they can still be together after this, they'd truly be doing everyone a favor. Jessica chuckled. Well then, I wish them both a speedy start to a family. No sooner had she spoken than Robert, who had been wrestling with Sarah, suddenly ran over and knelt down in front of Jessica, speaking urgently. Jessica, I was wrong before. I was blinded by that woman. Please forgive me. Can we get back together? Jessica glanced at him, then kicked him aside. Get lost. Don't interrupt my show. Robert probably didn't recognize me, and didn't even notice I was there. Meanwhile, Sarah ran over and started cursing at me. What are you doing here? Why are you sitting together? I knew it. You two conspired to break us up. I put down the peanuts and admitted openly, why wouldn't we? But you brought this mess upon yourselves, didn't you? Robert really is sterile. That's not something we can control. Sarah screamed, Robert. You heard that, right? They ganged up to screw me over. You need to be on my side. Before Robert could argue, I spoke up. Yeah, we definitely wanted revenge on you too. Owner of an advertising firm having an affair with an employee, leading to pregnancy, and getting into a brawl outside City Hall. That's a headline, isn't it? Saying this, I sent the video I just recorded, right in front of them. No. Robert quickly snatched my phone, and smashed it on the ground. It didn't matter, I'd already sent it. I stared at the shattered phone on the ground. Willful destruction of property, Mr. Robert. Are you going to pay for it, or come with me to the police station? Robert grit his teeth. I'll buy you a new one. Later, the video spread online. Jessica, thinking the whole thing wasn't scandalous enough, successively posted the video I'd recorded when I helped her catch Robert cheating, as well as the audio recording of Sarah showing up at her place and provoking her. That blew up online. Robert's reputation was ruined, and no one dared to work with him anymore. 2 weeks after the incident went viral, Robert and Sarah came to see me together. I hadn't intended to deal with them, but their attitude was truly contrite. They knelt down as soon as they came in. I sat on the sofa, with both of them grabbing one of my legs. Robert looked much older. Bro, please let me go. My company has gone bankrupt. I really have no money left. I shouldn't have seduced your wife. Please, be the bigger man, help me clarify things. Just say the person in the video wasn't me. Sarah, her face covered in tears, echoed him. Right, David. We were married, after all. Please help me. That $500,000 I gave you for the investment was Robert's. Now he's reported to the police, saying I stole his money, and the bank is already pressing me for repayment. Please help me figure something out. I really have no money left. Robert immediately turned his head. What's wrong with you? Didn't we agree to plead together before we came? Sarah said tearfully, then why did you report to the police saying I stole your money? You're just trying to drive me to my death, aren't you? The two of them started fighting again, only this time, instead of standing outside City Hall, they were kneeling in front of me. Listen. The moment I spoke, they both fell silent. I cleared my throat. You want me to clarify? But what I filmed was the truth. I didn't spread rumors. What is there to clarify? As for Sarah, when we were married, I helped your brother quite a bit. Now it's his turn to be grateful. Go ask him for help. After saying that, I felt incredibly satisfied. After being exploited by her, the brother helper, for all these years, I finally got my revenge. I simply showed them out. From then on, I didn't concern myself with either of them.